Hey everybody, Joe here, Figure It Out Crew, with a special guest for our unboxing. Mike has been talking about wanting to get this guy cracked open. We are now doing that. We've got none other than Omega Supreme himself. I'm going to walk you through the box here real quick. This is from the War for Cybertron Siege. And I got to give credit to the Mint on Card guys. They might be onto something, but Omega Supreme is not meant to be a collection king. He was meant to be taken out and played with, and I don't know about the playing with, but we are definitely going to take him out. So if you are a sensitive Mint on Card guy, just kind of avert your eyes for this next little bit here. Uh-oh. This isn't Omega Supreme.
What?
Somebody did a box swap of Omega Supreme and instead gave you the Ark. Wow. That is disappointing. That is not what you want. That is not what you want.
Wow.
Oh, like there's no accessories, there's nothing. It's just...
Wow.
Ooh, man. Wow. Well, this is going to be the shortest unboxing video that we've done.
This is not going to see the light of day.
It'll see the light of day. Like we'll still post it, but man, this is that's disappointing. Like I can't even be excited about this guy because he's so hyped for Omega Supreme. Like I don't even.
I'm so livid right now.
All right. Well, on that note, when it comes to the War for Cybertron Siege Omega Supreme getting box swapped for the Ark, you guys helped us figure it out. Take care. See you in the next one.
Welcome back to another episode of Trauma Bonding Action Figures. Just kidding. This is Figure It Out. I'm Joe. With me as always, Mike and Tyler. I would ask how we're doing, but after that unboxing, I would imagine not great. Am I off base there or?
No, you're pretty dead on. Pretty dead on.
All right. Well, as you might have guessed, we did an unboxing of the Omega Supreme, and it went awry, and we are going to talk about it. But before we do that, I'm pretty sure some of us got some new acquisitions. Guys, what do you got?
Tyler, go ahead and start us off, bud.
Yeah, I'll go. Not going to show everything, but I'll start with my guy here, Scavenger. Shout out to Mike for scoring this bad boy for me. I am one bot closer to Devastator. In fact, I am one bot away from Devastator, and so very excited to assemble him and have good times getting him rocking and rolling. Also scored the 2-pack Night Force Beachhead and Quick Kick. Huge Beachhead guy, as you know if you watch the channel, and super excited to get this Night Force Beachhead. We've seen some customs from our guy Joe over there that are Night Force Beachhead style that are phenomenal, and maybe even better than this one, to be honest. But I'm still excited to have this. It's Beachhead. I love Beachhead. Sign me up. And then another shout out to my boy Mike for the Studio Series Megatron. I am so hyped to get this guy out of the box and transform him into what his alt mode should always have been, a tank. So, yes, he's a tank. Granted, it's not screen accurate, but it's correct, in my opinion. And, Megatron as a tank proved me wrong. I've actually got a couple more I'll grab here in just a second if somebody else wants to go while I'm getting my loots together.
Okay.
Mike, what about you?
So I brought this to our trip, this collection of secret missions. And I must say, as a guy that hasn't bought like a graphic novel in a little bit that is in the physical form, I try to keep my print on stuff in the digital realm just to save space and always have it at my fingertips. I got to say this was cool and a really good read. I know with my degree, you think that I would want like a ton of words in my copies, kind of like a Kevin Smith, but it couldn't be any further from the truth. These secret missions work with no dialogue. You just kind of let the artist go nuts, and like it had a lot of cool characters. It had Spirit and Jinx, and we all know those are in my top 5. But then the Roadblock story was awesome. Like that was a banger. This one comic, all 3 of us read it. Joseph, you've already read these, but I was able to pass it to Tyler, and he was able to devour this content like a true G.I. Joe fan. I know Tyler liked the Beachhead one a lot. Surprise there, I know, right? And then Joseph liked the Duke one and the Spirit one, I think, the most.
Honestly, I think the Duke one was the one that I was excited for the most, but I felt a little underwhelmed. I don't know if it was just me trying to figure out what was going on without any words, but like I feel like that one needed to have words to provide the context, because it was Duke trying to save somebody, but I've never seen them before. I have zero context for what's happening.
Yeah.
But I think pound for pound, I think the one that I enjoyed the most was Spirit, but the Beachhead one, man, I can understand why Tyler consumed that as fast as he did, because that Beachhead one was just Tyler bait.
It's everything I want. Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was Beachhead running around. It was Beachhead 1v like 10ing a bunch of alley vipers, and then spoiler alert, Lift Ticket shows up in the Tomahawk and saves the day. That's
awesome.
That's just a line drive down the middle, just good clean fun. But I think the Spirit one is probably the one I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, naturally for me too, the Spirit one. But I'd say I like the Roadblock one more than I like the Jinx one. I thought the Jinx one was very interesting. It had like a 24 feel where they were like counting down the timer.
Yeah,
it was good. It's just that Roadblock one, man, was just Roadblock.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Well, also there was a bunch of Arctic gear, snowcat stuff. Again, very Mikey bait.
Yeah.
You know what? The bell that rung in my head when I was reading the Roadblock one was
the bivouac.
Yeah. Why? Why don't we get these? Like, look, you have in your historical documents, if you will, wonderful examples of some snow joes that we don't have and have never seen. What a missed opportunity that the snowcat had right there. Instead, we get a freaking lean-to tent and some a fake campfire with some fish on a stick. Like, why? How do we miss that boat? That is unbelievable.
They, I think at this point they just expect everybody to kit bash the figures that they want.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tyler's our resident Sith because he just can't let things go. And he lets his anger fuel him.
Listen, yeah, caffeine and hate. That's.
We shouldn't let Tyler have access to like force choke.
Yeah, that's my sustenance. But seriously though, I mean, gosh, I don't know. It just
like I got to see a rock and roll in an Arctic coat, and then I immediately looked at Etsy for G.I. Joe Arctic coats. Couldn't see any. Good. So if you guys know of any, please put them in the chat.
I think just honestly, just eBay and look at snow job fodder, and then just kit bash it that way. Yeah. That would probably be the best bet.
I bet you somebody makes a soft goods snow coat out there. I sent you guys that somebody did a custom one off of the basically the Ice Queen Baroness. Did you see that? I sent you guys. Send that guy a message.
Looks legit.
Oh, dude, it looks phenomenal. It looks so good.
And it has packaging.
Yeah.
And right that's really cool. Alley. Yeah.
The silent episodes were great. The spirit one was awesome. What ends up being like a robotic bear. Chef's kiss.
The rest of my acquisitions involve Omega Supreme. So I will wait and I will turn it back over to Tyler.
Yeah, sorry guys. I'll get these out real quick and just finish them off. I've got a couple of my guys here, Fireflight and Skydive, which completes my Superion. All that is left is for me to take them out of the box and create Superion. Very excited to do that. However, I refuse to do that until I complete Devastator.
Where did you score the Skydive?
Big Bad Toy Store. These are both pre-orders from Big Bad Toy Store.
Nice. Nice to know that Big Bad Toy Store fulfills orders before Pulse.
Yeah, that's a little weird. We could talk about this all day, and I know I've, speaking of not being able to let things go, I've lambasted Hasbro for their ridiculously bad logistics in shipping out the HasLab Rattler, and how it was 6 or 8 weeks after they started shipping before mine shows up, and so Hasbro's definitely got some major league issues in their logistics department, and they can't really, I know that the common thing is, well, I'm going to blame the slow boat that the things have to ride from China, but these are on the same boat that whatever Hasbro stuff would be on.
Yeah.
So that's not the problem. The problem is 100% Hasbro's logistics.
It's went from they're trying to, well, they need to try better, because it's starting to be like a month or two gap rather than a week or two.
Yeah.
So.
Especially nobody's wanting to pay extra for all these tariffs. No one's wanting to pay extra to wait longer.
I was going to say, you pay extra for a membership for Pulse, don't you?
Yep.
And I mean, if nothing else, you should get priority shipping over people like me who have no membership. I mean, and granted, I didn't get mine from Hasbro, but I mean, you should be getting your stuff before anybody else. In my opinion, that should be part of the benefits of that membership.
And the thing that really stinks is we know with these tariffs, the cost of figures aren't going to go down. It's not like they're going to be like, oh, well, the tariffs are over. Let's reduce our cost. We'll go ahead and put our figures back at, $24.99. No, we learned that with COVID. Like once the prices are up, they're not letting them come back down. And that's really frustrating. I think over the weekend, we looked at that Obi-Wan Kenobi Black Series that was $29.99. It's like $30 for a Black Series. I remember being able to get those.
20.
$19.99.
Yeah. So it's like we're at $10 over a few years. It's like, come on, man. Come on, Hasbro. Like when you do good, we'll say you do good. But when you do bad, I'll say you're doing bad, and that's bad. The price creep is starting to get up there. But that sounds like another episode.
Seriously, we ought to maybe have an episode about that, because at the same time Hasbro's raising their price, and I know I'm a big fan of Valaverse and the Action Force stuff, but those guys are lowering prices. They just announced 3 weeks ago at a convention that their figure prices are coming down. So, and I can assure you, they're all being produced in the same factory in China. And I can assure you that Hasbro does a lot more volume than Valaverse and the Action Force stuff. So Hasbro's just pocketing that extra money.
Yeah. And I'm not going to mean to beat a dead horse. I might as well save some stuff. But this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. I promise. They went to the windowless packaging, right? Because they wanted to be environmental friendly. So
they didn't care about the environment. For the record, they just wanted that government subsidies and tax breaks.
The thing about it is, well, if they want those subsidies and they want those tax breaks, why don't they just start manufacturing in the States? I think McFarlane does it. So, and that saves down on all those evil fossil fuels, overseas, and helps with the logistics issue. Granted, McFarlane has his own set of problems because people don't want the 999,000 Batman repaint, but at least this stuff is on the shelves, right? And in toy stores. I went the other day to a couple places, and Target and Walmart, man, they were just gutted. Like they had nothing. It was bad.
Well, again, this is probably another episode, but I don't know if you guys, I try to pay attention to folks out there, and specifically like looking at Reddit, and I'm seeing a lot of folks in the G.I. Joe classified subreddit have been posting displays at Walmart, where Walmart is creating this like Hasbro display that has classified series and Marvel Legends, and they're getting these like fancy new displays and they're getting loaded up with figs. And I keep walking into our Walmart thinking I'm eventually going to see this, and I'm not. And I don't think I don't think we're ever going to see it at this point. So it is disappointing.
Yeah.
I got a few acquisitions.
There you go, Brofus.
So speaking of the Walmart in our town, it's not all robots in disguise, although this one I guess kind of might be. Got the Hot Wheels.
Oh, that's right. You got me one too. I forgot about that.
The color shifters.
Yeah, it's a color shifter.
I love those.
If you put it in some water, it goes black and yellow. That looks really good. And then, but yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, impromptu unboxing.
There you go.
Bonus content.
Back in the day when those color changers were first coming out, I bought a Hot Wheels car wash so that I could, it actually used water, and you could wash the cars and it would change the colors and then they would change back. And boy, that was neat.
That is.
Right, so here we go.
Look at that.
Tracks.
It's a beaut.
C3? It looks like a C3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. I ripped the thing off. It just says 1980 Chevy
80.
Corvette.
Yeah, C3.
Or yeah, 80, my bad.
Yeah, you're good. No,
yeah, numbers are hard. So yeah, pick that up. It's pretty rad. Actually, no, Mike's was the one that I got at the Walmart. This one was actually a coworker of mine hooked me up. He was
How about that?
He was out fig hunting with the son and hooked me up. So thank you for that. Shout out to Charles. Next up.
Ooh, there you go. Now
Hot Wheels 67 Mustang. And another impromptu unboxing because I don't feel like recording shorts for these. So, yeah.
That's good. That's clean.
Yeah.
Clean.
So, it's good stuff, man. It's 30 some odd years later, man. Still hard to beat. Just a nice Hot Wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then also got my Law and Order as well. And
are those still available? Or are they gone?
I would assume they're still available.
I'll check for you real quick.
Not that I need to add to my tab, but
Yeah. And also my favorite part about this one is we've already recorded Mike's unboxing of one of his. So I get to just crack this whenever I feel like it.
I really want. Yeah.
They are available.
Okay.
You want me to order you one?
All right.
Let me see if they're Go ahead, Joe. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
And then my rounding out my new ones. It's this guy. All right. Well, that's enough. I think we've had enough talking about acquisitions and pre-orders and
Yeah, enough with the happy stuff. Let's get to my misery.
let's somebody cue the sounds of silence because hello darkness my old friend, that unboxing was sad.
Yeah.
That was an ouch.
Yeah.
It was an
So-
owie. And like Nolan says, owie, owie, owie.
Oh, it was rough. I kind of want to go back. I know it's going to be painful, but I want to just go back. Mike, your living room, you're watching this, you're filming this unboxing. What are you thinking going into it?
So going into it, I'm thinking I have a Triptychon unboxing and I have an Omega Supreme unboxing. And I'm thinking, how cool would it be for my nephews to come over? Because I'm usually the mint in box boring guy. But as you've noticed, I've put some open figures out in my living room so they could come and play with stuff, right? Because I don't want to be the mint in box boring uncle. You know, I'll never have the stuff Will has. You know, I'm not saying I'm going to try to compete in his arena, but at least let him have a couple options, a couple things they can play with, you know? So I was thinking, how cool would it be if they could come over and they could play with that Triptychon? And that thing is awesome. And then how cool would it be if they could play with an Omega Supreme that's open? So that's what I was thinking. Plus, Omega Supreme is I've loved since I was a kid, man. It was just so cool looking. And even in War for Cybertron, that was my dude, man. So I was excited. And then I'm recording it. And then I'm like, you know, I know you know how to transform all the stuff. So I'm just stoked. And, you know, you don't come over, you know, very often. So I was happy to have some company. Kaya, and my dog was all excited.
She almost threatened to ruin the shooting because her tippy taps were so loud on the floor that I was scared that we were going to pick it up.
She was pumped. And so when you opened it and you flashed me a look like, oh boy, because I was looking through the camera, so I didn't see it right away, but I saw your face. And us three, we have pretty good ESP. So I knew something was off as soon as I saw your face. And then I saw the ties. And I started putting things together slowly, like, hey, he hadn't cut those or messed with them. And then I saw the arc. And then my stomach sank. And then you told me. At that moment, I felt like handcuffs being put on me, because if it was just me that would have opened it in my own house without being on camera, there would have been rage. There would have been a lot more cussing, but it's like, I don't want to be the older brother that like spazzes out in front of my little brother. I try not to be. So
that would have been a valid crash out. You can ask anybody.
Yeah. I remember there was a time when you were building my PC and the wrong case, and you were like, calm down. I was like, okay, I'll calm down.
It wasn't the wrong case. Your graphics card was too big for the case that you bought.
And that's a good problem to have from what I understand.
I mean, it's not a bad problem.
So, but I didn't want to freak out because I was also on camera. So on camera, little brother's here. And I was like, handcuffs are on. Here we go. Just don't make a fool of yourself on camera and in front of your brother. When they leave, you can, you know, handle it like you
feelers.
Yeah, you can get in your chair, scream the F word a few times, and then pet your dog, like how you handle your job. So that's exactly how I dealt with it after you left. And I put some of those X-Men 97 cards in binders. So I had kind of some coping mechanisms after you left. But it was just mainly handcuffs went on, and just grin and bear it.
I'm going to take an opportunity real quick. For those of you who are listening and watching at home, the internet is full of fake crap. And if you doubt every single thing you see on the internet, you're doing it correctly. You should doubt every single thing you see on the internet. But I'm here to tell you that what you saw at the beginning of this video was 100% genuine. We didn't stage that. Mike genuinely felt like he had it in Omega Supreme. Joe was there to unbox it for him. They both discovered that at the same time live while filming the unboxing that Mike had been box swapped on that, and unfortunately victimized by some scumbag on eBay. And he found that out live. So that's not fake. That's not BS. That's the real unboxing of that. And that is when that's legitimately, he's running the camera when he discovers that he's been completely screwed over.
Yeah.
By somebody. So, just for the record, guys, that's the real deal. It's happened to all of us. I don't know anybody who makes any purchases online who hasn't at one time or another had the wool pulled over their eyes. I think we all can feel for Mike, because that was not a small purchase. And that really hurts. So,
yeah. Mike,
if you don't mind me asking, what's your takeaway?
If it's something expensive, I should really have a face-to-face with the buyer first, or at least ask them, hey, what are, I know with my old job, and Joseph, this might be his language, but I need trace documents. Like, what is the point back to Hasbro, or, the OEM, right? What are the steps to get me back to the OEM? So where did this come from Hasbro? So it went to someone, they sold it to the eBay seller. Okay. Can you vouch for this seller? Have you bought and opened stuff from them? So that was a takeaway. I had a lot of knee-jerk thoughts and reactions like a lot of people, but I was like, at the end of the day, I'm a mint in box guy, and I've just got to be more careful. The Omega Supreme, without completely opening it, I would have never known. My other big purchase, mint in box, that comes to mind was my subscription service, Law and Order. I mean, I can see that. It's obvious,
Yeah.
So it was just
another feather in the cap of window packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also learned that PayPal and eBay won't help you out a year out. Also, that once you leave a review for a seller, it's up to the seller to essentially give you permission to change your review of them. So, like, there was no recourse for me because I'm a mint in box guy, and I waited a year to open it. So that's another thing, that if I have any inkling of opening something mint in box, I really need to open it within a month. Because if I don't open it within a month, then maybe buy another one if it's not too crazy expensive. So that was a lesson learned.
Out of curiosity, did you contact the seller at all on this?
I did.
Did they reply to you? What did they say?
It didn't go well. I was because I initially asked them, like, hey, do you know who you bought this from? Because I'm just letting you know, like, hey, this was a swap.
Gave him the benefit of the doubt. That's nice of you.
And he defended the person that he bought it from and then called me a scam artist. So
that's a pretty good indication that he's the scam artist, just for the record. Like, that's a common practice that happens. We're not going to get political on this podcast, but it's a common practice that happens. And
he also said that it's been a year out. So sure. In hindsight, after I calmed down, I kind of understood that. Yeah. So I'll give the seller the benefit of the doubt, but that doesn't mean I'm going to buy from him again.
Yeah, certainly not. Certainly not.
I'm definitely, anytime I buy something over, like $200-$300, Granted, the Omega Supreme was close to double.
Yeah,
That
that's brutal.
So anything I buy over $200, I'm just gonna ask the seller, like, hey, do you vouch for the person that you bought this from, or did you buy it directly from Hasbro? Also, you say it's mint in box, never been opened. Does that status match what you wrote? Like, just verifying. Because a good seller, I've sold stuff off eBay, and it's like, if I know I have a seller or a buyer on the hook, I'm going to respond to them and be like, yes. And also, please be aware that of the pictures I've taken of the corners being bent or this, that, and the other. Just to let them know, like, hey, you're asking me this, that, and the other, and I just want to reinforce what I wrote. Also, like, I've sold Magic cards on TCG Player, and there were some, like, I'm selling a $2 card, and they're saying, oh, that's not near mint, that's played. And, I want a 20% discount. It's like, dude, it's a $2 card. 2, I got it from Cool Stuff Inc. And it went from Cool Stuff Inc. packaging to a binder. I don't think that not only was that near mint, maybe mint, I would do like 10%, but I'm not doing 20 and then saying that it was played. It's just not happening, because it went from Cool Stuff Inc. packaging to a binder.
Yep. I learned my lesson on cards. Like, to your point, I've sold a few, not on TCG Player. I sold a few cards on eBay, and one of the first cards I sold was a fairly expensive card, and I took pictures of it, and I think I represented it as played, and I took a lot of pictures, very detailed, high resolution pictures. And the guy bought it, and then he came back and said, "This is heavily played. This isn't played." And I said, "Look, I said in my description that I'm not a card grader. This is what I think it is. Look at the pictures if you don't know." And ever since then, I've said in the listing, I'm not going to tell you what grade I think this is. Look at the pictures. This is the picture of the actual item. These are high resolution photos. If you have questions, you can ask me. I'm not a grader. I don't know what grade it is. You're buying what's in the photo, and you have to determine from the photo, what the condition of the card is. And once what you see is what you get. So I feel you on that. Joe, let me ask you this, if I could.
Okay.
I've watched this a few times, and what really stuck out to me, or what really struck me, is as you're opening that box, when you pull that first inner cardboard flap, right there where the accessories should be, to Mike's point where the ties are, that for me is when I see it in your face, where you're like, something is wrong. What were you thinking at that moment?
That's not supposed to do that or be there. And like, it's one of those things where I'm so content creation is not second nature to me. It's very much like an engaged process, and it doesn't charge my battery, it drains it, but it's also, I feel like it's worth it. And we have a lot of fun here, but that's one of those things where I was just like, man, if I could just snap my fingers and just make this an Omega Supreme, I would, because I don't like posting that unboxing. Like, make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, we're not doing it for the clout. If anything, I feel like this is a very good example of a cautionary tale of purchasing things from the secondary market. It's one of those things where you can try to do as much due diligence as humanly possible. However, at the end of the day, you are still bartering with strangers over cables in the ground. It's a really, like, it's so commonplace now, but if you think about it, it's crazy, the whole like online commerce thing. So, but all that to say, I wish, every fiber of my being wishes that was just an Omega Supreme, because we had, you have an upgrade kit for like the
Yes.
face, like that is battery
It lights
operated. It
up.
lights up. I had it on the table there. We were going to go ahead and do that as well. That install. It was going to be a twofer. It's going to be an unboxing and an upgrade.
Oh, I wish I didn't know that now. That hurts even worse.
Why did you think I had it out? Like I had it on the table.
I thought you
Like,
were just going to show it, man.
No, I was there. I was there to work.
Oh, man.
Well,
long story short, we're not trying to chase clout or anything, and we're not doing it for the clicks. Like that was just like also like I'm just plotting out that kind of a video. Like I'm not that talented or smart.
Yeah.
Like I just want to do the unboxings, play with the cool toys, and
also let me say this: I wouldn't buy an Arc. Like I'm very well aware of my limited storage, and that Arc is big. I wouldn't want it. Like it's just not on my list of things that I would want.
Yeah. Couple things, if I could. First of all, we don't necessarily discuss all the details in the unboxing, or maybe you haven't here, but basically Mike purchased this Omega Supreme, listed on eBay as mint in box, new in box, unopened. Unfortunately, it was a little over a year ago when he purchased this. Mike is a mint in box guy. That's abundantly clear if you've watched any of our videos on this channel. And so odds are he probably wasn't planning to unbox it, or there was a small percentage chance that he would eventually unbox it. And gradually over time, he's decided, and hey, we have a channel where we're doing this, so it makes sense to unbox it. So, it makes sense that it would sit in the box for an extended period of time before he opens it. Unfortunately, when he does open it, it's been swapped with an Arc. Not only that, the Arc doesn't even have the accessories or anything that should have come with it. Like it's literally someone just took an Arc and dropped it in a box. So by the time he's discovered this has happened to them, there's really no recourse through PayPal or eBay or anything because it's been too much time. And that is not a fault of Mike's. The fault of this 100% lies on the person who did this swap. Whether it's the seller or whether it's whoever the seller got it from. I have my bets on who I think who I think it probably is, but that's neither here nor there. So first of all, to Joe's point, it's a cautionary tale, right, guys? You buy something on the secondary market, especially over the internet, something you haven't seen and haven't laid hands on. It's a risk every time. And if you're in this hobby where you collect action figures, toys, whatever, odds are about 99.99% chance that you are dealing with a secondary market on a fairly regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a risk that you take, and when this happens, it's terrible and it's awful, and you feel really, really bad. But it's not anything that you did wrong. Mike, we've talked about this. It's not anything that you did wrong. Somebody else did something wrong, and unfortunately, that you got, and that sucks. But I want to give you kudos for being willing to put that out there and say, hey, I want to use my experience to help educate other people.
It's funny because I told Joseph to not do this, and he was like, "Oh, we're doing it."
Yeah, he says it in the video. He's like, "We're not going to post this. It's like this is not going to see the light of day." And I was like, "Brother, I'm afraid it's going to have to."
And kudos to you for being willing to do it and coming on here and talking about it, because dude, that sucks. And I know you feel terrible.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, you have nothing to be ashamed of. In fact, you're the guy when we're walking around Dallas Vintage or one of the other stores, and we're walking around looking at figs. You're the guy who spots all the repacks. Like that's kind of your thing, or one of your things is like, oh, that's a repack, that's a repack, that's a repack. So whoever did this did a freaking good job, because Mike is very good at spotting that. So it's they did a good enough job that he didn't catch it when he got it.
I was probably too excited when I got it and just looked at one side's tape and then stowed it and was just happy because I remember I bought it around the time I was moving into my new house. It's kind of a celebration of, hey, you're not living with your parents anymore while you're transitioning from your one house to the other.
And also like, hey, like mom's still alive. That's cool.
Yeah. Our mom had a stroke around that time. So
two aneurysms and a stroke.
Yeah,
A
so
partridge in a pear tree.
I probably just got it out and looked at it real quick. Saw one side had tape and kept trucking. But speaking of keeping trucking, I want to talk about what I did, because it's not like I said, I don't have room to just have an arc laying around.
How did you salvage? How like what did the reconstruction era look like?
So shout out to Amazing Action Collectibles in Oklahoma City. I went to them kind of, hat in hand. This wasn't a moment to have a lot of pride. I didn't know a lot about the action figure, and I was straight up honest about it. I told them what happened. They looked at it, and they immediately went online and looked at what all was missing. And I will say, you Attabox folks, God bless your hearts, man. Because you got to verify all that stuff that came with it. And then kind of price it. Like, so how much is this complete? How much is this one piece missing? So it's missing all these pieces. So how much are all these pieces added up to this? And, I looked at it on Action Figure 411, and there were some listings for $135 sold. So I looked online, and it was like a $199 in box. Just because something is $199 in box on sold out listings, that $135 might have been, actual proper mint in box. So I was thinking like 40% of $135. So I was thinking, around 40-ish, 50-ish. So I went to Amazing Action, and I looked around because they said they would give me $30 store credit. So it had been stripped to the point where I was going to get $30, and it made sense. And I was like, I just want it out of my hair. So what I got with my $400 for the Omega Supreme purchase, I was able to flip it and get a X-Men 275 Storm. And this is a problem because now I want to get the other ones out of package, especially since I know they have a Gambit now. And a Forge. So that's like got me on the hook for more loot. And then I got a Sabine Wren Lucy.
Black Series.
Yeah, Black
Series. So that's, and plus I was on leave when I did all this. So I was able just to kind of take my time, goof off, and just kind of have a day for myself, to where it wasn't completely sullen, like the Verve Pipe freshman song. So I had, went out to eat, traded in some other Magic cards, got some store credit that I've had laying around. I met Randy from XN1 for lunch and gave him an Ultra Magnus I had got him. So it was just a good day, man. It was just a good all around day. Went around, shot the breeze at my local comic book store, DZ. Got that Secret Missions comic. Got to go to the local vendors, man, and that was pretty cool. Amazing Action took good care of me. Got me looking for other of those X-Men 275 figures. I've got them mint in box. But then, as I'm sitting here talking about mint in box stuff, I was like, you know what? How much other mint in box stuff do I have that I've bought from eBay? And I'm looking around, and man, I really don't have very much stuff mint in box like that Omega Supreme. Most of my stuff, it's came from Hasbro. So that's just one of those things. I just got. And now I've got like this new X-Men 275 thing that I'm going to be looking for. But all's well that ends well on the thing that shall not be named.
Made a little lemonade.
Tried to.
Made some chicken salad out of chicken poop, wrestling victory from the jowls of defeat, as it were.
Like I noticed like Amazing Action, they ventured out into having like a sports card / Marvel card / trading card area. So they've expanded. So that was cool. I bought some X-Men 97 cards. Had a good day, man. Had a good day. Had an experience.
Well, after the whole ordeal that you had just been through, that's really about all you can hope for.
No.
But any closing thoughts? We're putting this whole arc Omega Supreme debacle behind us. It is going to be a footnote in the annals of this channel's history. Any final thoughts from either of you guys?
Once I let go, I was like, dude, you got. You don't want to see the arc? Okay, cool. Go to your local vendors, let them know what happened, and get something that you're going to like looking at, man. I like looking at this storm. I like Sabine. So it didn't help me holding on to that anger. And to Tyler's point, I teased Tyler early about letting stuff go. I just had to let it go, man. Like, eBay wasn't going to come through. PayPal wasn't going to come through. The seller wasn't going to come through. The guy that sold it to the seller, he wasn't going to come through. So let it go, move on. I don't say I'm never going to buy anything from eBay that expensive again, because I got in contact with Big Bad Toy Store because I pre-ordered a Mega Supreme from them and they said it was going to ship in September. It's October 1st. So I was like, is there any updates? And they just reminded me of their policy that it's a rough estimate. And I've never had good luck with Big Bad Toy Store on their pre-orders. Elite Legend always jokes, them bros don't ship. And I agree. So I'm not optimistic. So eventually I'm sure I'll run out of patience. But this time it'll be just an out of box. And I will definitely have like way better communication with the seller. I won't just buy it. I'll be like, hey, read your description. Let me just verify. And I'll do that going forward for anything expensive. And also straight up, I'm probably going to use the actual, in the parts world, the OEM before anything. I'll probably be more strict about, okay, eBay is going to be like the last ditch effort and not the easy button.
Yeah. Tyler, you got any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I'll give a couple. If it does help, the 2 aerial bots that I just showed off here were pre-orders from Big Bad Toy Store, and they came through on those.
That does help.
Yeah, something that you and I unboxed over this weekend, which we will be showing hopefully here in the near future on the channel.
You guys are going to love that.
Yeah. That was also a Big Bad Toy Store pre-order. So a couple things recently for me have come through. The other thing I'm going to say is, first of all, kudos again, Mike, for being willing to come out here and talk about this and put this out there and be a cautionary tale for other folks in our hobby. Again, if you're in this hobby, it's pretty much a guarantee you're going to have to deal with the secondary market potentially as often, if not more often, than you deal with the primary market. And so, as such, be careful and be aware that this can happen, and understand what your protections look like. For example, in Mike's case, I think it's about a month that you can deal with something on eBay. Again, different platforms may have different things, but be aware of what those are, and again, be careful. Be prepared, because it's going to happen. You're going to get got. We've all been got. It's happened to all of us, and it sucks. It's a little bit of the cost of doing business in the secondary market. But again, there are things that you can do that Mike is going to be doing going forward, and then he probably normally would do, but the circumstances were not normal for him at that time, to try to minimize that. But again, eventually it's going to happen, guys. It sucks, and it's unfortunate. But at the end of the day, do what Mike did. Take your lemons, try to make a little bit of lemonade, turn it into something that you enjoy, move on. Don't do what I do and hang on to that crap forever. Let it go.
Well said.
Yeah.
Dealing with stuff like this, it just makes it easier to walk away from the hobby. Mike was talking about letting go. Sometimes that just means letting go of figs. And, everybody kind of, I feel like at some point or another, they kind of come to that. And that's, that's fine too. But yeah, I mean, I hate that for you. It was definitely not how I thought the day of the afternoon of unboxings was going to go right out the gate. Because just full disclosure, we batched several of unboxings together that day, and that was the first one up. So that kind of set the tone. So whenever we get those other ones posted, if you can kind of tell pick up on some residual angst, that now you know.
I will say, spoiler alert, the Triptychon video kind of put me instantly in a better mood because that was such an awesome fig. Oh my gosh, that Triptychon was just so cool.
All right. Save it for the video.
It's huge.
It's huge. So,
Huge.
All right. Well, all right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this discussion. Just kind of initial reactions to poor Mike getting hoodwinked and bamboozled on that internet flea market we all know as eBay.
Let us know how you got. If you have any stories of unsuccess and getting ripped off, because it would be mildly soothing to me.
Like we've been having a lot of people posting really, really awesome, very insightful comments. So let's just let's turn the comment section into a share circle.
Yeah.
We'll sing Kumbaya and talk about getting ripped off.
Yeah.
Real quick, any announcements? I think we were talking about maybe trying to do a fig hunt sometime.
November.
Yeah.
Up in Tulsa.
Fig hunt.
So I think you said something about Goldies for burgers.
Yes. Gosh,
and
yes.
then I figure we can hit Goldies and then go to Fan Fortress and then get cherry pie while I think about stuff that I didn't get that I probably should have. That way we can go back after we get cherry pie from Oklahoma Joe's.
That is the custom.
As is tradition.
The laments of the action figure.
That's one thing our mom always said growing up. Is this something that you really, really want? Or is this just going to be junk in the bottom of the toy box?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I don't know if everybody's noticed, but it is way too expensive out there in current modern times to just have junk at the bottom of the toy box.
It's a true story.
Yep.
On
True
that note,
story.
When it comes to the Omega Supreme unboxing that went awry and the Ark showing up
unexpectedly
and quite frankly
the thing
unwelcome,
that shall not be named.
You guys helped us figure it out. Appreciate it. Take care.
Later, y'all.
What's he going for, Mike?
Law and Order?
Yeah.
45.
Okay. I'll not add to my tab, but I'll Amazon him. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Mike's my connection. He keeps us in all the good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff like that.